Hello, I am on this video going to have a theme, a certain topic which I want to further explore. But before I'm going to do that, I'm just gonna go down to this spot here next to the creek. Look at that, isn't that great? Just going to be here for a little bit because look at this, isn't that great? Oh my gosh. Wait, I'm just gonna stand here like that. Yeah, the sun is shining so beautifully. And I'm near this wonderful creek here. You can hear the creek making its lovely sounds. Oops. And I'm here with you, or you are here with me, whatever way you want to see it. And so, although, of course, you are not here with me, I'm here just by myself. That's exactly the topic that I want to address. Yeah, I am enough unto myself. I'm just alone. And whenever you hear me talk, well, maybe in the future I will be making some videos together with my dear friend Annemiek. But for the most part, the videos that you hear me talk about, that you hear me speak, these videos, they are just about me. And it's just me by myself. And I want you to notice how comfortable I am just being me, being myself. And that is that's what this topic is all about. Yeah, I am just so happy just being by myself, talking with myself. And the reason for that is because there is a reason. This does not happen by itself. It doesn't happen by itself that most people are unhappy with themselves. Yeah? Also, most people are uncomfortable with themselves. And even though they pretend that they are so good and they pretend that they're so happy, oh yeah, they claim to be so, they've got it all together. No, they're not happy. They don't sound happy. They don't look happy. They don't behave like a happy person. But me, I am a happy person. I behave like a happy person. I sound like a happy person. Yeah. And so, and how did that happen? How is it possible that I can be like that? Well, there's a reason. And the reason is that with my particular way of talking, my own way of talking, I can be happy. With my language, I can be who I am. And so, I have my own way of speaking. I have my own way of dealing with language. And so, I am enough to myself. Because I let myself know that I am good the way I am. With my language, of course. How else would I let myself know? How else would anyone let themselves know? And the reason that you are not happy, the reason that you are, I don't know, whatever, you're stressed out, you're worried, you're frustrated, you're feeling incomplete, something is always missing. You're always dissatisfied about something, and you're always busy with something. You're never really there where you are feeling good and happy with yourself. So, you cannot be happy with yourself if you do not have your own language. And I have that. And of course, your own language in itself, it does not mean that you have the right words or something like that. Nay, it means that you have the right sound, because that is really what this is all about. Hello. So you can actually begin to hear that you need to have the sound which is fitting with you. Yeah, what you hear now is a helicopter that comes flying over. Ooh la la. That's a lot of noise. Oh, there it is. Alright. So your sound gives you your language. And unless you have your sound, you will not be able to have your embodied language. And so it is amazing because in the past, when I was young, I'm 65 now, I'm relatively old, but when I was younger, I still feel young, But in the past, I was not happy at all. I was actually very, very dissatisfied. And somehow I knew that I wasn't having what I was supposed to have. You see, you are supposed to have this. This is yours. This is who you are. So how are you supposed to not have that? Why are you lacking? What is missing? Why can't you be happy with yourself? That is something, of course, many human beings have worried about, and many human beings have pretended that they have found some sort of a solution to that problem. And all of them actually have failed when it comes to discovering their own language. None of them have ever talked about the fact that they can have embodied language, and that this embodied language is thus your original language, the language that fits with you. I have never heard anybody talk about this. I came up with this myself. And yes, of course, we have heard stuff, maybe here or there. People may have talked about embodied language or something like that. But I've never heard anybody who said, no, you need to just hear yourself and then experience what you're saying. And then all of a sudden, it begins to just happen by itself, that you can say what you in that moment want to say. So it is not some sort of a preconceived message or some preconceived idea about who you are or how you should be or want to be. No. I'm just speaking what I can say right now and what I apparently want to say, because how do I know that I want to say what I am saying? I know that because I like it. And so my joy, my comfort and my interest in what I am saying tells me that this is what I want to say. I enjoy it. I like it. And I will continue with it. Even though, I know, even though nobody else is doing this. And it's astonishing that people do not do this. Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you paying attention to what is important to you? Why can't you be enough to yourself? Of course you can be. But you can only be enough to yourself if you have, like I have, your own language. Look at the water here. So nice and clear. You can just see the bottom. You see? I'm going to sit here for a little bit. Such a lovely spot. I love these little spots here that you can go to near the creek. It enhances me. And everybody, once you are enough to yourself, you will find what fits with you, and you will find those spots, you will find those places, you will find those people, you will find things to do, or you will also stop doing what doesn't fit with you. Yeah? You will find what belongs to you. And why should you be without it? If you can have this. Yoo-hoo. Look at that. Oh man. It is like scoring, but you're not scoring a goal. You're not winning any match. You're not having any competition with anybody. You're just doing yourself a favor. And you being enough to yourself, of course, is also kind of like a weird way of saying that, there is not you and yourself, there's not you being enough unto yourself. There is no such thing. You are just one with yourself. And there is no you who agrees with you. There's just agreement. And the you who previously was still standing aside, supposedly trying to figure something out, supposedly trying to, come up with something, that you is no longer there. That you has gone. And that is what happens when you, with your ongoing embodied language, when you realize there is of course a different awareness of who you are with your embodied language. Your awareness of who you are with your embodied language is of course an awareness which reveals your language enlightenment. And this is a good moment to speak about my language enlightenment, which is of course at the very core of why a person would be enough unto themselves. So what I'm going to do now is I'm now going to sit here. I'm going to sit here on this little piece here. Here. I'm just going to sit here and hold the phone in my hand, but I'm now going to close my eyes. I'm going to take off my hat. Yeah, this is kind of like also a, how would I say, I take off my hat to show respect for this magnificent experience of language enlightenment. And to even enhance this feeling of respectfulness, I will now close my eyes and I will continue to talk with you about my language enlightenment. So, the first thing that I want to say about my language enlightenment is that there is nothing to understand. There's no need for you to understand anything about it. Understanding has been overrated. Of course, there are things in life which we need to understand. Yeah, if you are going to take a class in elementary algebra, you need to understand how that works. But when it comes to your own language, actually, when it comes to being yourself, actually, there is nothing to understand. And so, the whole idea that we are busy trying to understand something, or that we believe we do not really understand and we seek more understanding, all of this has to do with disembodied language. Once you have embodied language, understanding is no longer an issue. You just experience something, and that's all that matters. So forget about understanding. This is not about understanding. This is about experiencing. And yes, of course, because you haven't had embodied language, you now understand what you could not understand when you were having disembodied language, of course. But the issue here is not understanding. The issue with your embodied language is that your language enlightenment is revealed. You are enough unto yourself, you are okay with yourself, you are just at peace with yourself. And now you are expressing that. And of course, when you express that, yeah, you feel peaceful. So when you don't say anything, you feel even more peaceful. Because as long as you keep talking, you're still, I don't know, you're still busy with language. You're still, yeah. And it always creates this impression as if there's something to be understood, but there's nothing to be understood. So, all right. So, you can easily go into the silence with your embodied language and with your experience that everything is okay the way it is. You don't need to change anything. You don't need to work on anything. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to say anything. Yeah. Stop it already. Or at least have a good laugh, because it has been such a misery, it has been such a disaster. All this disembodied language that you've been stuck with for so long. Yeah. All of that is behind you now. All of that is just finished. Yeah. And so with your embodied language, you can say that and you can mean it. You can really feel it, that it is done. Yeah. You are done with all of that. And so when you say what you want to say with your embodied language, yeah, you naturally fall into this beautiful silence every time you stop talking. And yes, it will help if you close your eyes so that you can just hear it, experience it, feel it, allow it. Let it be expressed to your heart's content. You can take time for this. You can do it again. You can do it as often as you want to. And as you do it more often, you will find it is the gift that keeps on giving. There is so much that, you can now say which you haven't said before. And when you hear yourself say it, you congratulate yourself. You have victoriously expressed again and again your language enlightenment. And the whole world is singing with you. Yeah, you're just not doing this by yourself. Wherever you are, whatever surrounds you at that moment is enjoying your enlightenment with you. So this wonderful creek here is enjoying my enlightenment in a way that I enjoy this wonderful creek. And these birds that are chirping in the trees, they are also enjoying my enlightenment in the same way as I enjoy their presence here in this moment, cheering me on, saying, yes, yes, we hear you. And they probably don't, or I don't care. I hear them. That's what matters. Yeah. And I do not, you see, this is kind of like how it is also between me and you. I do not know if you hear me, but I feel that if you listen to what I'm saying, you will hear me. Yeah. And I hear myself. And I hear you also, even though you're not here and even though you're not saying anything, even though you don't contact me. Yeah, you could contact me and have a conversation with me. You don't do that. Okay, whatever. Coward. Yeah, liar. Yeah. You're just a scary, anxious, worried, stressed out, frustrated individual. And you continue with that way of life. Okay, I'm glad that I have nothing to do with you because I don't want to deal with that anyway. So that's why you stay away from me. That's fine. I'm enough unto myself. But if you were to really listen to what I'm saying, with my eyes open now, if you were to feel what I'm saying, you would feel what I'm saying. And you would know that what I say is true. And you would know that you could also be enough unto yourself. And you would know and acknowledge that you have not been like this. And that you are continuously preoccupied with all kinds of things which have nothing to do with this. And I'm not busy with any of that. That's why I can be the way I am. Because I've freed myself up from all that other stuff that you are so obsessed about. Yeah? So stressed out about. So, I don't know, preoccupied with. It doesn't bother me at all that you're not here, that you're not contacting me. You can go on living in your own misery. I don't care. No. You call me heartless, you call me inconsiderate, or you call me, arrogant. I'm not arrogant. I'm simply stating a fact that there is no connection between anyone who, like me, has embodied language and someone like you who most likely only continues with disembodied language. There's no connection. There cannot be any connection. Never. If there's ever going to be a connection between you and me, it is because you have already decided, based upon listening to me, to stop your own disembodied language, because you are not going to talk with me and have disembodied language. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to tolerate it. I'm not going to have it. I don't want it. You know that. So you can only come to me if you have already decided, by listening to me, by reading my work, and by sort of just for yourself, not deciding, but you've done your own, you've just your own work to somehow stop your disembodied language. Yeah. And then when you have stopped your disembodied language, you can contact me and you can say, okay, Maximus, I'm just gonna give it a try. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a try to have embodied language with you. Yeah. That's how it's going to be. And you'll be surprised if you do that. I guarantee. You'll be proud of yourself that you have actually taken a major step towards yourself, if you would do that. This topic which I'm expressing today, that I am enough to myself, that I speak to you from my language enlightenment, that I am my own authority. Do you get that? I'm not waiting for anybody. I'm not waiting for you. I'm not waiting for anybody who is just wanting to criticize this or wanting to have questions about this. Need some explanation about... No, you're not going to get any of that. You are just full of shit because of your disembodied language, and you need to get rid of that shit, on your own, by yourself. And you need to let yourself know, like, oh, I don't want that anymore. I am done with that. I want to have the language that makes me feel that I am enough to myself, that I am my own authority, that I'm no longer feeling bamboozled by what other people say, that I'm no longer feeling obliged, guilty, rejected, confused. None of that. So, you got to get yourself ready. And you can talk with me. You can also talk with my best friend, Annemiek, who'll be happy to talk with you. We are always happy to talk with anybody who is willing to have embodied language. Yes. Why would I be interested in having disembodied language? The whole world is having disembodied language with each other. I'm not part of that. I have liberated myself from all of that. Oh my gosh. It's time you liberate yourself from it too. What's taking you so long? So anyway, I will continue to speak about this. And so here, let me just sort of slow down a little bit, because I get kind of hyped up. I know. It's just how I am. I'm a very excitable person. And especially, of course, when I can really go on and on like this, I just feel so excited. But let me just close my eyes again, sort of just sink into my silence. Oh my God. This is called silent laughter. Oh yeah. The reason that I keep talking is because I just want to share this with you. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah. All right, folks. That's what I wanted to talk about today. Thank you for listening. And don't wait. Just get to it.